Shabbat Shalom, all praises to the Most High Yah. Welcome to Full Armor Movement TV, Full Armor TV. We are doing From Roots to Branches episode today. And within this conversation, I have my man Zekariyah, who is gonna, edify us with information and give us some perspectives of some things that we can all take advantage of if we actually utilize each other as resources and get information from one another. And that's what these conversations are really based off of, is really exchange information and get perspective, see who's doing what within the Hebrew nation, but also overall, because I feel there's so much that we can actually learn from one another based off of things that are already in motion. And what this brother is going to be talking about is the movement that's already in motion that we started to build. So, how you doing today, sir? Shalom.
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good, like a Hebrew should. For folks that's out there, I am the best man, the brother man, the whole me from Brooklyn. I am Zekariyah Warrior. I'm here to tell you folks the importance of communal living and pretty much what we already have to offer for everyone, because this is something that needs to happen. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the downfall of America, with the recent chicken farm, going to the fire. It's definitely time we rely on ourselves and stop relying on so many of these processed foods and everything that the government is throwing at us. Because now it's starting to take away. And you have to be mindful of that, because the hand that feeds you is also the hand that starves you.
You've never learned. I think where we're at right now with the society, with the grocery prices going up so high as well, it's a perfect time to really start thinking about growing your own food. Being around like-minded people who are trying to cultivate the earth and sustainably. So that's one of the things that got me most excited to talk with you, just because I feel like so much of what you're already doing is going in that direction. So I just want to first, I want to do an introduction. Like, how did you get into this group, and how long have you been in it?
I've gotten into this group by a fellow YouTuber by the name of New Breed, and it really spoke out to me about the land in North Carolina, 110, 115 acres of land out there. And I was very interested in it. And I feel like this is something that is truly needed to be done. So after watching a couple of his videos, I went to the Lions Den meeting, we once had, but I went to the Lions Den meeting. I went there, and then I didn't go there for like a good couple of months. And then I went back. When I went back with my foot on the ground, looking to get work done. And with me just mostly being a guy who does social media content, video editing, sound engineering, and podcasting, I was like, well, I can still try to bring something. And that was just pretty much exposure to what's going on, because surprisingly, not many people know we exist. Not many people know that the UNY exists, or even know that we have 115 acres of land that we want to share with people. So I figured the biggest part that I can put in is just get the word out the best possible way I can, work with people, let them know what's going on. And then it's like, hey, we got land, we got an opportunity.
The first time that I heard about this land was through New Breed and things that we're building out. And I was excited when I heard it, because, my own personal background, I come from more of a Moorish background. Like before I got into the truth, I was in that direction. And the basis of that is so much nationality, sovereignty. And when I got Hebraic truth, when the Most High really woke me up, really what this is about. I was excited to see this, because I see this movement happening, this awakening, I should say, happening, of us coming back to who we are within the group, And within that, going back into our roots, actually taking back our power by, really pulling away from Babylon. So, within these next transitions that y'all are building out, what are some of the things that are already happening on the land that people can actually see and like kind of partake? And I know we have a video that I'm going to be looking at and pulling up so they can actually look at it. But like, what are some of the things that are already happening that people can actually partake in?
Well, so far there isn't much happening.
Okay.
Like we did previously there was I guess you would say like an open invitation to the land at first, so people can like get a good visual of it. Basically, like a land walk, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was like the first event of showing people their land, and then we did like another little camping event for like a few people that was out there. Really, there is not really much there but work to get done. There is a water wheel there. There are two people there who pretty much, live on the land, the RVs, but for the most part, they're like there to like basically watch the land. Because there have been attempts of thievery on the land. We had to get a water pump replaced because someone like messed up the first one, things of that nature. But for the most part, there's work to be done there. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there, and it's going to take a good amount of manpower to get down. Like there's trees that needs to be cut down. There's crops that needs to be grown. There's a bunch of firewood that's piled up over there that you can easily make money out of. So there's nothing but work to be done on that land.
So that's an important thing that you're touching on is the work. People being involved become lazy. They have to be prepared to actually put the work in to help till the ground, be a part of a community that's actually building something.
Yes.
So I think that's an important thing to touch on, just because I feel like if people are just looking to get away, you ain't just getting away without putting in that work.
Exactly. Oh my God. Sadly, there's been an issue. There's been an issue with a lot of that. And what I find to be very interesting, but also sad, is that a lot of the men were complaining about trying to put in work, which is what baffled me, to the point to where the females stepped in more because not enough of the men were willing to do. And then that definitely gives it gives a bad look on the men of Israel, what we're supposed to do. We don't just take care of our family, but we also take care of our nation. We have to build it up. We're supposed to go into certain places and then just start building and just start fortifying ourselves. We've gotten away from that. Now we're looking for excuses of why we shouldn't help each other. So when you do see the land, you do see work, and you come in there with that type of mindset, what you're thinking is, well, I'm gonna wait till they get somewhere, and then I'm gonna come back. I hate that. Why? You want to be a full man and help with the process, or be a half-assed man and then just go about it when they're like halfway there, and then you're like, I'm coming in with like the rest of the tools that we should have needed at the beginning. The mindset of I'm gonna wait till they get more help or go somewhere is very toxic, because you are that help.
Right.
There's only like 5 brothers out there doing something. 5 brothers cannot cut down 10, 20 trees. There's more that needs to be done.
I would really encourage those who are starting to chime in to think about skill sets that you can acquire, or new ways to be able to help out. Trades are going to be very needed within building new land and like really connecting with people. So so much of the world, it really doesn't push trade. It really pushes just education, like within making it in the system. But it's time for us to get back to them roots and really get back to the electricians, those who like landscape, those who know how to build, like those trades are necessary. I got the video ready, so I can go ahead and share the screen so that they can see the land. You ready for that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. Let me get that on real quick. Here we go. All right. Cool. Here, I'll let you talk.
You definitely want to mute it because there's music in the background.
Right on. Thank you. Hold on. Yeah. Cool.
So right there, that's the back I was talking about. Those trees over there, those are the containers. We have our stuff at. And those are pretty empty camping the jet, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And those out there enjoying themselves.
Man. So it looks like there's already like a family being developed right there in that community.
Yeah, it was like literally a family that was there and just like literally helping each other out. These I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, down right there, those are like that's the I would say that's like the first 25 acres of land.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're
Are
not
there
even
people already staying there? Like actually living on the land right now?
yeah, there's like a few people in the RV that's been on the land.
Okay. Wow. Is there any food currently growing on the land?
No, that's another part that pretty much needs to work. Food needs to be grown. There's crops that needs to be grown.
Yeah.
And see, all the way back there,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the land as well. Those
wow.
are the trees that's in the way.
Most of the people who are going there right now, they already have trailers.
Yeah, most
So
of the people that's there, they have their trailers.
is that something that you're encouraging that people get like trailers, mobile homes? Is that like going to be the first stages of this community building on the land?
I would definitely say so. Definitely, the trailers is definitely the start. The idea mostly is to get like the Mongolian yurts because they're extremely durable, as well as they can even withstand 0-degree temperature as well. But the RV that works pretty much as well. So,
Chat. Can y'all hear me? Let's see here. Let's see. All right. Zekariyah, they froze me up. Like my whole computer froze up. So I'm gonna have to see if we can go ahead and get Zekariyah back up. I'm gonna send him a link real quick. But in the mix of that, one of the things I want y'all to really think about is what are the possibilities of us being able to really take back ownership of cultivating our own things. Like when we really think about most of the wealth that can be acquired within, us as a community, it really takes us finding land and building our own. And that's what I love the most about this, is that this is a great example of how the Most High is utilizing his people to be able to go ahead and really, build a nation within the kingdom. And I say kingdom because I believe that under the Most High, we follow his kingdom. We're not waiting for the kingdom to come. The kingdom is already here. So us being kingdom citizens, we can walk with a kingdom mindset and be doing that work already. Let me see here. What's up? Man, there's so many different things happening with this right now with the freeze up. Guest constraint. All right. So I'm waiting for him to get back on. If he can go ahead and join that link again, or maybe I have to send out another link to him. But either way, we were getting deep in the conversation of actually showing the land. And I think that's one of the things that I'm most excited about. There we go. Let me go ahead and get you back on there. They booby trapped us, man.
Hey, how's it going?
We got. When we started, really getting into the land, everything kind of froze up. I had to get on my other computer. So I'm on another computer right now. All that to say.
I had to get on. I had to get off my iPad and onto my computer.
Yeah. Did everything freeze up on your computer, or was it just on my
end? Everything froze up on my end as well.
All right, cool. At least we know. With that being said, I think one of the things with looking at the land, you see the possibilities, and like the possibilities, it seems like are huge within what's being cultivated. So, like what are some of the requirements on like being a part of this community? Like what are some of the things that you're wanting to, have people keep in mind before they actually try to join in?
Well, one thing that's key is like-mindedness. Definitely a level of understanding that you're going to be around people that have the same ideals that you have, especially when you're trying to build, when you're trying to live like, basically away from the American lifestyle, so to speak. So that's one thing. Another is a level of respect and maturity. So I'm just basically naming like the overall mental idea of what to do and pretty much want to join this, and then I'll get into the real bits of it. But
Sure.
pretty much just a level of respect and maturity when you are trying to work with people that's doing this. Come in there with the mindset of I'm ready to get work done. I don't want to live this type of lifestyle anymore. I'm trying to change. I'm trying to like see something different instead of just like looking for an excuse to like run away from home. This is an actual community. This is something that's being built off of the grounds of I want to change lifestyle. I want to see something better for myself and my family, so that I don't have to constantly keep paying, a 1,200 rent every month, where that 1,200 could easily be in my pockets every month, and then that can just build.
Right.
The other thing is that we do have IDs.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's another thing that was interesting to me as well. Just because, when we're talking about sovereignty, that's one of the things that plays into it. Having those actual connections to your nation. How did that come about? And then what does that mean? What does that mean for one, the cards, and then two, how did it come about?
Well, I'm not entirely sure how they came about, but I do know for sure that these ID cards, they help us understand who's coming in, basically. It's like a good idea of making sure that the person that's there is not a stranger. So it's basically an access card to let you know that, hey, I'm here, I'm about to live on this land, but you also know who I am.
Right.
Because it's going to be a tight knit community. You want to know who are the people you're living around with, especially if you're going to be building with them, especially if your family's going to be with them. The ID is very key. It's also a good um it's definitely letting the people know that you have a sovereignty under this ID. You are your own person. You still work here in the States. You still live here in the States. But this ID is definitely a simple identification of I am an Israelite or I am a person of this land.
Okay.
And I pretty much honor it. And then you have other people see it, and then it's like, okay.
So within that, when you say like-minded,
Mm-hmm.
so what does that entail? So are you talking about so people who may not be of like Hebrew Israelite, mindset or considering themselves a part of the nation, they may identify within more Pan-Africanism or whatever. What's your thoughts on that? And then does that, are those styles of folks being included within the build?
Well, I could definitely say yes in a sense, because the idea is just it's pretty simple. The like-mindedness is just making sure that you are comfortable around the people you're with because you have the same goals. You have the same ideas of wanting to build something that's going to last for you and for your children and for other people's children. You want to build, you want to share. You don't want to be in the selfish mindset that the Americans have been pushing for years. So even if you do believe the clouds in the sky is pink and gray, that shouldn't stop you from working with me to help build this person a home. That definitely shouldn't stop you from working with me to making sure that there's food on the land, because your heart is just basically, I want to help people. I want to help them see a different way of living. So even if you do come from like a Pan-Africanism and things of that nature, cool. Are you going to help me build this house up so that way you can have some place to stay? Yeah, all right, then let's go pick up that axe and cut down some wood. At the end of the day, everybody's going to have their difference in opinion. Everybody's going to come from a different belief. But if that belief is still in the fines of let's help people, let's build something, let's look at life differently, then that's perfectly fine. I can be in my little section over here doing my thing. You can be in your section over there doing your thing. But when it comes to like business and it comes to building and it comes to preparation, we're on the same page. All right, because when you go to work, everybody has tons of different beliefs. There's atheists, there's Buddhism, like there's all sorts of stuff. But when you have to get the job done and get your paycheck, everybody working together. I definitely used to be a cook. Different, different walks of life in there. But at the end of the day, the food still has to be delivered. The food still has to be made. I have to be on the grill side and you have to be on the cold side. And then those orders still got to come out. Just the same exact way.
So are there communal agreements? Like when you get into the community, do you have agreements that you're asking people to uphold by in order for, the community to move a certain way, to be safe in certain ways? Are there anything like that that's in place currently?
Well, we are definitely getting to something like that, but yeah, there will be pretty much rules, set, and those rules definitely do have to go by the land. I mean, the law of the land, because like as you know, like just about every other county has their own set of rules, especially when it goes to buying your own land.
Right.
So as long as those rules go along with the land, with the law of the land, then it's pretty much fine. Because at the end of the day, it's your land. but you still have guidelines to make sure that you don't overstep your boundary with what you got.
So is this the only location that y'all have right now? So like, how's that working? What does that look like? Because I know, I was watching New Breed's channel like a while ago, and I seen that he was in Africa with y'all. Some of the people within the org, within the nation, I should say. So within that, what other locations do you have land, and like, what does that look like?
The other location is in Liberia, and if I am saying the land, if I'm saying the amount of acres correctly, I believe it's 100 and I think it's 102,000 acres of land, probably a little more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, yeah, because the real goal is generally to build up. It's pretty much to build up the stuff here in North Carolina, and then take what we built and take it over to Liberia. So that's another good thing about the ID cards as well. They're also a dual citizenship card. So you have dual citizenship here and also citizenship in Liberia. And those with those cards are the only people who can have access to the land and live upon that land.
Got you. That makes sense. I like the actual connection to the nation. And then as you go into these other parts of the nation, you actually have, just like any other country, any other nation, you have identification within that, showing that that's where you're from, that's what you represent, those are who you come from. So, what's the next steps happening right now as far as people gathering within the land, and what are some events or things that are happening that people can be a part of, partake in? Like, what does that look like?
Well, right now we have an event going on called One Love, 1 Million Strong. And it's pretty much a huge fundraising event to pretty much have fun for the land, so that we can pretty much do what we need to do to make the land livable. That is basically our next step. So the next event we got going on in that, because there's multiple events in one. So the next one we have going on is a spelling bee. And the one after that is pretty much a online virtual open mic session. And then the last one is basically a concert.
Okay.
So that is pretty much the major thing, because do you know this guy? He's Italian. He thinks he's a DJ. He's not. My dad's a real DJ. He thinks he's a DJ, but he's not. I like to call him DJ Ratatouille. I don't like him. I don't like him.
I like how you approach that. What are you talking about? Who is this? Who is this person? But okay, yeah. What about him? Like, tell me a little bit about him, I should say.
He's this European guy that makes music. And I think it's like EDM or something like that, but he makes music. And he did this one event on New York on a rooftop. Okay. And that's all he was doing. He was DJing music. Realistically, from what I've seen in my expert eye of music production, he just had a big playlist.
Man, that's
and he just there was no crossfades. There was no scratching. There was no turning it down and then bringing it back up suddenly. There was none of that. And he managed to raise over $1 million.
Sure. Yeah.
By just having a big playlist.
Man, I feel like where we're at right now with social media and having so much access to one another, there's an opportunity for us to really maximize, you know what I'm saying? Within everything that we're talking about, there's a lot of things that are falling right now in Babylon's system. You know what I'm saying? Music industry is one of those things. And within that, I feel like I've been hearing some great music coming out of the Hebrew community. And I'm really excited about the people that we're collaborating with on this project that we're working on, just because it's some great talent that I feel, people could really like vibe with, benefit from. Some great ministries happening within these artists that are collaborating on here. So yeah, man, you want to talk a little bit on the project?
Oh yes, we have some amazing talent. We have a lot of amazing talent that's working pretty hard on making a album for the One Love, 1 Million Strong event. And these are some amazing voices, some amazing lyrics, and some amazing works. I mean, they really pour their heart out into doing this. The passion shows and the love for it shows. And this is the type of music that honestly you people should be listening to. You want to hear the type of music that's going to uplift you, that's going to give you positive vibration, that's going to show you that things are going to be all right even in the darkest time. You don't need no more music about twerking. They did it already. Or the drugs, the sex, they did it already.
Yeah,
You
it's getting
know,
done with for sure.
they did it already to the ground, up into the point where I think they got like 3 babies now. You know,
Mm,
three artists named Baby. Like, how much more do you need of the same thing that's going nowhere?
right.
It's irritating. So,
Yeah.
um, I definitely do love music, especially from like the 80s, 70s, 60s, because those were real instruments. You know,
Mm,
people generally pour their heart out into it. They got it together, and like it was like an orchestra of people. If you didn't know instruments and if you didn't know how to play them, then you wasn't going to get far in that world.
facts.
Because
Facts.
the idea of dolls wasn't around then, so you had to have some type of talent. Now, all you need is autotune. All you need is sex appeal. Now,
Right.
you don't
Right.
even need lyrics. You can just and
Mm.
then it's a hit. It's a hit. It's hitting against my damn head. That's what it's doing. But it's a hit.
And that's like that's one thing I'm really liking about the movement of Hebrew music that's coming out. It feels authentic. It's talking about something of a solution. Instead of like taking away from the community, it's talking about giving to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that we looking for answers as a black community, as a so-called black community. We're looking for answers, and I feel so much of that. You can find that within reading the word. You can find that in the music that's being cultivated within the culture. And I feel like right now it's a good time for us to be really like showing people how great this awakening really is, because this isn't even organized. The Most High has been orchestrating all of this, in my personal opinion. And those who have been waking up to this truth, this is a great opportunity to learn how to cultivate land, learn how to grow food, learn how to get off of all these processed foods, learn how to actually tap into something greater than yourself and be a part of a community that's actually going in a direction that's following something greater than themselves. Because social media ain't nothing more than just vanity. It's all vanity.
It
you know
is. I mean, social media is also a great way to distract you. You know, there's definitely people on there who live a fake lifestyle. They definitely do it in vain, and then it builds up a fake image to try to compete for, and then it drains you in that process. Why do all that when you can come on down to a limited potential farms?
Come on now.
And then you can put your back into breaking some wood, shoveling some gravel, building some land. I mean, come on. If you're too busy building, then you're too busy to look on what everybody else is doing on the interwebs.
So I got some questions for you around that. You've been on the land, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice that, like, do you have a stronger sense of being, or a stronger sense of like being connected with the Most High, from being, because I know like social media is probably, how does that work? How does that work when you're out there with social media, internet and stuff like that? Do you find yourself still on those platforms, or is most of your time doing work and really cultivating the land? Like, what does that look like?
Well, a good friend of mine by the name of Joachim Judah has said that being on the land, he saw the Most High everywhere. He
Mm,
saw him everywhere. He saw him in the trees. He saw him in the ground. He saw him in the grass. It was like the fact that there was just so much gone for civilization, and it was just that big garden as it is.
mm-hmm.
He saw the Most High, yeah. And I definitely do believe it, because one thing you have to understand is that when Adam and Eve left the garden, we left what Yah gave them to us,
Mm,
everything we needed. And then we decided to create civilization. And once we decided to create civilization, that's when everything came tumbling down because we wanted to rely on ourselves instead of the creator. We wanted the creator in the stuff that we was doing, but we didn't necessarily want the creator himself. We was grateful for everything he has done. But as you can see over time, the Most High was our king. But what we wanted instead, we wanted a physical king. So then we got Saul. And then y'all was like, hey, you do this, bad thing is going to happen. You don't need a physical king. You got the Most High. But we didn't want to listen. So we have this nagging annoyance to want somebody physically to lead instead of actually wanting the Most High to lead. We say we do.
Right.
But then we want kings, we want leaders, we want presidents, mayors. We want everything ran by man in a civilization built by man. And this isn't a civilization that y'all built. He allowed it to happen because we stubborn as hell.
Right. I think that's the thing. I'm sorry, but one of the things that we do is get caught up in leadership. You know, so much of what you're talking about, if why we got grafted into Babylon in the first place, has so much to do with us following leaders that took us there. And it's really not about having one leader. All of us are leaders. You know what I'm saying? Through the Most High guiding us, you know, to where we're supposed to be and who we're supposed to be within our assignments and our purpose. You know, like we don't have to worry about having one person lead us. Like everybody wants to step up and try to be that one person. And you should watch for those people, like the ones who are excited to be in leadership and want to take that seat like that. In my personal opinion, like I feel like there's a reason that person has so much hunger. And I feel like the Most High will put whoever needs to be in that position or whatever position is needed to be taken up. If you're walking with an integrity and righteousness, he's going to put you in the right position because you have decreased yourself so he can increase himself within you, you know?
Definitely. And one thing I'd like to add is that being on that land, stress went away. Stress was completely gone. Like I had no worries of bills. I had no worries of rent. It was just that being around an area where it's not filled up with negative energy and like high levels of 5G radiation, once all that is gone and you're only surrounded with the nature that the Most High gives you, you can only focus on peace. Because peace exists where peace is. And that is exactly what was there. It was peaceful. Being on that land made you forget what day it was, like what time it was, because everything that was on that land did not feel like it existed throughout the entire, like it was like you was on the island because the people that was there was nothing but peaceful. So once you bring peace to a place that already has peace, it magnifies and then it blocks out the negative thoughts. It blocks out the negative action. You feel more confident in doing stuff. When you're around good stuff, you feel more confident in achieving everything that you didn't think you was able to achieve. But once I came back home from like the camping trip, man, I had to worry about medical bills. I had to worry about if I was going to get rent due this month. I had to worry about scrambling for a job. And it was just so much. And it just hit you like bam. And it's like, I wasn't worrying about this when I wasn't here. And it's the fact that it's just in your face. And stuff like that can bring you down confident wise. Because it taunts you like, can you make it? Are you gonna make it? You think you're gonna make it? You sure you're gonna make it? But when you're away from that stuff, it's like, yeah, man, I got this. And then you say with such calm and confidence, like, yeah, I can make this work. Yeah, this is something I'm bound to do. You have nothing but a positive influence. So the product of the environment is very much true. It's just that it's so annoying that you have to constantly keep fighting in that environment that has so much against you when you can just peacefully work in an environment that is for you. Work in an environment that's for you, you can get things done. I was out there being a woodsman for 2 days for the first time in my life. It was the greatest workout I ever had. Just chopping things down, just lifting them up, just carrying over, starting fire, chasing the dogs. It was beautiful. I ain't had to worry about, if is somebody about to let off a shot because they stepped on their shoe or anything like that. It was like the family's here. The Most High is watching over us. I ain't got nothing to worry about. I ain't got nothing to lose.
So I got a question for you. What's the weather like out there?
The weather was cold.
Okay, he's a straight. So I'm in Colorado. For context, like today it's snowing, and it's probably about 35 degrees. Like, so what is it like in the wintertime? What are your winters like during out there in North Carolina? What are the summers like? What are the winters? What are the summers like? Do you have all 4 seasons that you go through within that land?
Well, technically, right now I lived in South Carolina.
Okay,
where I am currently now, but I've been to North Carolina as well plenty of times, and what I've experienced, it is a 4-season type of state. But when it's hot, it's hot.
yeah,
it is definitely hot, but like the rest, it is like 4 season entirely. It is definitely 4 season. I remember when I used to live in Georgia, it's hot. You know, it was so hot I couldn't even tell that it was fall or winter. But when I was but me being in South Carolina now, it's 4 season. It's definitely 4 season. You get your cold days, definitely. Are you going to see snow? It happens, but it's not like you're going to see it on the forecast in like 2 days. It can happen, but it's not expected.
Got you. And then how far is the furthest town? Like, how is it close to other towns? Is it pretty isolated onto itself?
I know it's close to other towns. It's close to 2 other towns, really. There's Lumberton and Fayetteville.
Okay.
And the 2 closest towns. Fayetteville is basically a city, and Lumberton is the town.
Got you. Cool, man. Well, you know, I feel like we've gotten into some good information around the land and how to get involved. Is there any key things that you think you want to touch on just to, you know, really get people incorporated, how they can get involved, whatever that looks like on your end? What is that?
Oh, we have a website up.
And I put that down low too. I'll put all the information in the link below so that y'all can, you know, have access to what he's talking about once we get done with this.
Gotcha. So one way you can definitely get involved is by going to give-to-receive.love. That's pretty much the base website where you're going to, you know, see the event that's going on, see how you can pretty much participate, and it'll even show you like the plan of the land that we have going forward. And then there's also another website called yahwillgather.us, which will pretty much give you more deep intel information on who we are. And that's even where you can also get your nation IDs, pretty much.
Okay. Cool. And then as far as like visits, are there going to be any opportunity if somebody who may be on the fence to visit, or are you requiring some things to happen before something like that could happen?
Well, I do know that in the works we do have an idea of like having people visit, like throwing another event for people to come by and visit. And we feel that is definitely a healthy idea to get people to actually feel what it's like to like be on that land for like a good week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. An idea of like events to have on the land for people to come by, to visit, to like camp out there, get the full experience. And especially if you are a person that has that sell your own products and things of that nature, there's also an opportunity for you to do the same as well. So yeah, that's what we have in the works.
And then you know, getting those cards, what does that look like? Is that a part of like getting on the web page? What does that look like to like be part of the actual nation? And then give all the context with the flag, the UNIC, all of that. If you can break that down for us, I appreciate it.
All right. So the IDs is basically your way of saying that you recognize that you are of an actual nation, like your blood-born nation, that you're not, you know, whatever this country has deemed you as, but you are, of your father's tribe. So the idea behind it is that these IDs, they have a sovereignty attached to it. There's paperwork that you do sign, and then with those paperwork that you sign, you pretty much give it to your Secretary of State, whatever state you're in. And you're basically telling them that you no longer want to be a registered agent of the Americas. Like, you don't want to be considered a registered agent here. You are your own sovereignty. You are your own person. You want them to recognize that you are an Israelite born descendant. And that's basically what you're telling them. They can grant you that. They can give you like an approval saying like, all right, we understand that you recognize who we are. But they can also, not acknowledge it neither as well. But that doesn't stop you from getting the IDs. It's just basically letting them know that you know who you are and you know whose you are, and you're letting them know that you know it too.
Man, I feel like that's a whole conversation onto itself, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like there's so much to what you're saying right now. And like, there's a lot of in-depth information on like how you engage with the current system that is at hand. You know what I'm saying? We're in the world, but not of it, right? Mm-hmm. So like, that's literally what's happening when you're going into like what you're talking about, like not even just metaphorically or like, according to like Torah or scriptures, but like it's actually like this is reality, what you're talking about. So I'd like to go deeper into that, but what are some of the benefits? I guess, like, can I get 3 benefits of being a sovereign citizen and understanding who you are within your sovereign nationality?
1, access to the land. That's definitely one thing. 2, just really once you have that, once you like put down the paperwork and the work to do it, your mindset changes. You're now more focused on building up for your people. You now want to go away from just having to work under these jobs, build these empires, and like, you want to build your own stuff. You want to help other people build. So that will be the mindset change. 3, you're basically telling Pharaoh, let my people go. You're basically standing up to the government and saying, I'm not with this no more. So it's like a vote of self-confidence of, I'm telling the slave master, I ain't your slave no more. Even if you don't recognize it, I recognize it, and I'm willing to do something about it, more so just talking about it. Because at least you're willing to go down there and tell them, I know who I am, and I want to represent who I am proudly without having to be, without having to be talked about it. I mean, having to be, talk smacked about it. So it's like, it's just the mindset thing, really. It's just like really putting the boots to the ground, just being like, I got this and I want to change. And I'm going to let you know that I ain't your slave no more.
Does that give you dual citizenship, or is it giving you just, this is what I am and this is what it is?
It gives you dual citizenship with Liberia. But it generally also says that this is who I am and I'm doing this.
Got you. Man, we got to get back on another one of these so that we can go further into some of the things. How would you feel about doing some check-ins with me on here, just on what's going on?
Yeah, that's definitely fine.
I'm putting you on the spot. We live right now, so you know what I'm saying? Put you on the spot real quick. But no, I'd like to do check-ins with you and to like actually dive into more of like that sovereignty piece. I feel like there's a bigger conversation for people to understand how to get plugged into what y'all are doing and how to get more involved within that side of things as well. So, whatever that looks like, we could talk about that offline for sure, on building what that dialogue could look like. But seems like we got all the information. One more time, can you go ahead and run them down on like how to get connected within what's currently happening within the land and web pages, things like that, social medias?
So how you can get connected with what's currently going on is through give-to-receive.love. The information is there, even with our events of how to pretty much, fundraise for the land. That's there. We also have an Instagram called 1 second here. should definitely support the gram so you can also be, stay up to date with what we're doing and like really support. 'Cause that's generally what we're asking for. We're really asking for support, really asking for people who truly want to see a change happen and be a part of that change. Because keep in mind, this is the first time this is happening. I mean, I understand that Black Wall Street did it really first, but the difference is that Black Wall Street started with I would say like around good 40 to 60 acres of land when they did what they did. This is 115. We can do more than what they did and then some.
And one thing I will say towards that as well is that there was still a game being played within following the system. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, trusting the Most High and coming out of Babylon truly and within that self-sufficiency and, not trusting on anyone but the Most High. I think a lot of the time we have a tendency to trust leaders. You trust the Most High, pray up before anything that you choose to do within the movements that you're going to make. But the Most High ultimately should always be at the guiding light of your decisions.
Yes, definitely. That's also another thing that goes wrong with like a lot of few other people who do make these communities is that the Most High is not in it. Their heart's in it. The idea of doing what we're doing, there's nothing wrong with that. The Most High has no problem with you trying to build a little community and just being, having a set apart life. The issue is that if y'all's not in the forefront, it's not going to last.
Right.
It's never going to last. We are his people. We can't build a community and say it's in his name and then go out to the government and ask for their stuff.
Right.
You're not asking nothing from the Most High, but just a couple of vain prayers that's going to get you nowhere. So if you do also plan on building your own community with people that you are interested in with, for those that do believe, make sure the Most High is in it. Because if it's not, it's not going to last.
Right.
A big example of that is Black Wall Street. I understand that they got together during the segregated times because, it was needed then. But that was all that was really going for, was just trying to get away from the white folks. That was basically lynching them.
Mm-hmm.
If the Most High was in it, I'm pretty sure it would have lasted longer, but some things do come to an end for a reason, even if the Most High is in it. Some things do have to fall as a sign of, I wouldn't say like examples being made, but like a sign that you can do this, but you may have to do this later.
Right. Right.
So our Instagram that you can also reach out to is Love Note Treasury. That's one word. Love Notes Treasury.
Let me see if I can. Love No Treasury. I'm gonna put all that on the description down low. I'll get that from you offline so that everybody can access that. And then, just so everybody else knows, y'all are catching the live. I plan on doing a little bit of editing and reposting this back up for everybody else to partake in. And then, Zekariyah, I want to get you back on, man, so that we can talk a little bit more in depth on what you're doing. And what's building out and how people can continually, be involved within it. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, jumping online with me, building out this conversation. I'm excited about the song and poetry and everything that me and you are building out on. I think the project itself is going to be something that I feel like is going to be impactful, not just to the Hebrew community, but it's going to be impactful to those who like music, because there's some talented artists that are involved within it. And I'm excited about the music that's being built out. But with that being said, would you like to close us out with some prayer? And we can set out that intention for those who want to get involved as well.
Sure. I would love to close us out in prayer. All praise be to Heavenly Father, now Mashiach. Thank you again for allowing us to meet here. Thank you again for truly being with us, allowing us to speak, to show light on your work and your plans. We are tools and we are your servants. I pray that we continue to work for you and never work against you. I pray that this work puts us together and continue to build us forward. I pray that we continue to see your vision and do everything that we need to do to put out your vision. In Yeshua HaMashiach name we pray. Barakatah.
Barakatah. Tawada. Appreciate you. Yeah, we'll be getting back on soon enough. This video is going to be something that we edit up, and it's going to have all the links in the description on how you can get in contact for more information on what's being built out. There's some very awesome things that'll be releasing here soon, music-wise, and some events and things like this coming together. So stay in contact through the links that'll be in the description, and then I'm going to be doing some updates on Full Armor Movement and From Roots to Branches. So Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Some of y'all already at sunset, so you know. Shabbat Shalom. And I pray that all of you have a restful and fruitful rest of your Shabbat. Bless up. Shalom.